Hello and welcome to Gunners Daily YouTube channel, and today I just wanted to talk about the game against Manchester City. No script, nothing, just sharing some of my thoughts. So, where to begin? Is draw a good result? The question that I've seen pop on my timeline a lot during these past 2 days. And you know what? Looking now, 48 hours later, I think it is. Yes, we are second, Liverpool are now first, but we played Manchester City 3 times this season, and they still don't know how to beat us. We won in the Community Shield, we won at the Emirates, and we took a draw at the Etihad. So, yeah, I think draw, in this case, generally speaking, is a good result. Honestly, I watch every single Arsenal game. Cup games, friendly matches, Premier League games, Champions League games, etc., etc. But believe me, I can't remember when was the last time that I watched an Arsenal game this boring. It was a completely boring game. But, you know, some people will now say, oh, but that is brilliant. All the tacticals will now say, oh, that is the masterclass of Mikel Arteta and Pep Guardiola. And I agree, to some extent it is. Both coaches set up the team to not lose. I think that was their point in the first place. But still, it was truly a dull game. Defensive performances from both teams were excellent, especially from Arsenal. William Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, I mean, what else can I say? Them two are on some other level. The best center-back duo in the Premier League this season. 100%. To see how far we've come from the days of Mustafi, Koscielny, I don't know, Socrates, to this, today, Gabriel Magalhaes, William Saliba, Ben White, even Jakub Kiwior, Tomiyasu. These guys are simply on another level. And some people are also saying on social media, oh, but Arsenal plays boring football. They are completely uninspiring in the final third. Last month, we basically had 4 games in a row when we scored 20 plus goals. So that's not true. If you want to be the champion, you need to adjust your game style with your opponent. That was the problem with Arsene Wenger. As much as I loved Arsene Wenger, he always used the same tactic. It doesn't matter if we play, I don't know, Brighton, or we play West Ham, or we play Barcelona and Bayern Munich. It was always the same with him. Always the same tactic, always the same approach. Everything is always the same. Nothing changes. And then, usually, you would have won 3-0 against West Ham, but then, using that same tactic, you would lose 5-1 against Bayern Munich. Because that doesn't work. I think with Mikel Arteta is, he knows how to adjust his tactics. He knows how to address the problems and how to take a different approach when needed. Let's put it that way, to take something out from the game. 4 goals conceded in the league in 2024. 4 goals in 2024. I don't think that people even understand how crazy that is. We are now in April, and we conceded 4 goals in 2024. Arsenal Football Club. We are talking about Arsenal Football Club. A club that usually conceded 2 to 3 goals a game only 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And now, just listen to this. 4 goals in the league since the beginning of the year. Insane. And it's also worth mentioning, we stopped City from scoring at the Etihad after 57 games. After 57 games, Manchester City failed to score at their home ground. Completely insane. I wanted to talk about Bukayo Saka's performance. A lot of people are saying rival fans are saying, we can see Bukayo Saka is not world class. You can see he's not top class. He doesn't show up in a big game like this. But who did show up? Did Kevin De Bruyne show up? Did Erling Haaland show up? It's just he was part of the system, and there was nothing for him to do. At least that's how I saw things. So I don't really blame Bukayo Saka, because for some reason the kid is 21, 22 years old, and they expect him to score 4 goals every game, no matter if he's playing against Manchester City or Brighton and Hove Albion. That's not realistic. I think Bukayo had a okay game, definitely not his finest performance, but defensively our whole squad was excellent. And I'm not just talking about Gabriel Magalhaes or William Saliba. Our whole squad, from our attackers to midfield to defenders, we all played well defensively. We didn't give City any chance to score or for them to create any clear-cut chance. We were brilliant defensively. And that's what matters in a game like this. Because if you can't win, I know it's cliche, but if you can't win, don't lose. And some will say, yes, but we still haven't managed to beat them. We could have stayed top of the Premier League. Yes, but they could have beaten us. And what? Then we would be third. They would be on point with Liverpool. No, sorry, 1 point less than Liverpool. So you tell me, is it better that we held out for a draw and park the bus at some moment? Or if we went all out and we lost and Manchester City scored some fluke goal for 1-0 and they took out 3 points? I would take the draw against Liverpool, City, every time we play them away. Because let's not be cocky. If you take a point away from home, from Liverpool and Manchester City, then for me, that is a good result. Of course, a win is a win. 3 points is 3 points. But still, if you can't win, then just don't lose. And also, just a second. And also, speaking on Bukayo Saka and how he, according to rival fans, wasn't performing very well against Manchester City. Well, why don't we talk about Erling Haaland? For me, Erling Haaland had a terrible game. And all those comments from Roy Keane and some other pundits, how he's not a very good footballer, I completely agree with them. And have been saying that for years now, for the last 2-3 years. All credit to him for scoring all those goals. Last season especially. But as a footballer, his technical ability, his style of play is honestly atrocious. When you look at him throughout the game, you see his moves, his way of attacking, his passing, his attempts to dribble the ball. It's just horrendous. I just don't get it. Guy can score a goal in the box. You give him the ball, he needs one touch, and he will deliver. He will probably, 90% of the time, he will score a goal. But other than that, for the build-up play, for creating something, let me ask you, can you remember one time that Erling Haaland, since he came to Manchester City, that he created a goal on his own for himself? That he took the ball, I don't know, 30, 40 yards away from the goal, and he made a dribble, he did this, he did that, he got into the box, he chipped the keeper, I don't know, something that is not a... I'm not gonna be an idiot and say a tap in, because some people are saying he only scores tap ins, but that's not true. But, you know, that it's not a shot from penalty spot or some header or something. When was the last time that you've seen Haaland score a goal that has some flair or that needs some technical ability? Because honestly, I can't remember. I can't remember. And I think I've probably seen so many compilations on Twitter and other social media platforms with all of his goals since he came to Manchester City, and they all look the same. If you showed me now 30 goals from Erling Haaland that he scored this season or last season, They all look the same. I wouldn't be able to tell you, this was that goal he scored against, I don't know, Chelsea. What a goal against Chelsea. Or, this was a great strike against Liverpool. He's so basic as a footballer. So plain, so boring. Zero excitement. I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, because what Pep Guardiola wants from him is to score goals. The problem he's been having since basically Aguero left, and even before that, because he was so injury prone. And they found a solution for that problem by bringing Erling Haaland. So they won the treble last season, for fuck's sake. So you can't really say, he's not good, he didn't deliver. Of course he did deliver. And there was a serious case that he could have won the Ballon d'Or for everything he's done last season. And I don't think nobody would be angry if he won it instead of Lionel Messi. Listen, nothing against the guy, but as a footballer, it's so hard to watch. I've seen people comparing Erling Haaland to Aguero. And Aguero was, for me, 10 times bigger striker. Aguero was just powerful, quick, agile, dribbling the ball, shooting from every single angle, creating for himself. He was just a different beast in his prime. Why am I saying all this? Because people are saying, Haaland didn't have a good game. If he put out a better performance, Arsenal wouldn't have a chance. What? I mean, what are they talking about? Haaland played against Arsenal 3 times this season. He played in the Community Shield, and I swear, I don't remember. I don't know if he touched the ball in our box in August, in Community Shield. He was invisible on the pitch, and we won in the end. At the Emirates, in the league, in the first part of the season, Erling Haaland, his performance against Arsenal at the Emirates, I'm not sure. I'm too lazy to check it up now, but I think someone posted a stat that he maybe didn't even touch the ball once in our penalty box throughout the whole 90 minutes. It was just atrocious performance from him. And that's what many people are saying during these last few months. In big games, it seems like he doesn't perform that well. He doesn't perform that well when he faces real defenders, really good competition. William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes completely shut him down. They knew what he was going to do, but like I say, it helps that he's so basic, he's so predictable with the ball when he receives the ball, because you know that he can't make anything work for himself, and that he will make some simple basic pass, or he will try to shoot the ball from some insane angle that will never go in. So speaking about Saka, how he disappointed a lot of people against Manchester City. So in the same way, then we can talk about KDB, we can talk about Haaland, we can talk about, Jack Grealish, we can talk about... you get my point, right? Saka had a average performance. I can't argue with that. I can't tell you, he had a great game, because he didn't. And people will now laugh, make fun of this, but honestly, I just think he's too tired. That's the problem with Saka for the last 2-3 years. To be more precise, that's the problem with Mikel Arteta. He's using him too much. He's playing him against every single opponent for the full 90 minutes. And I made a video about that a long time ago, and I shared my opinion on that. That needs to stop. I love Bukayo. Nothing against Mikel Arteta, but some of his decisions regarding starting 11 and not changing the squad, not changing the starting 11 very often are quite problematic. Like, why Saka, let's be honest, for the last 2-3 years, is starting in every single game? It's just, why are we doing this? And then, God forbid, if he gets injured, then everyone will be smart. We all knew this would happen. He plays so much games, blah, blah, blah. But it's true. He's playing in the Champions League, and 3 days after, you think, okay, we are now playing in the, Carabao Cup against League 2 team. Listen, Mikel will definitely rest Saka for this game. I mean, it's logical. He played against, I don't know, Champions League opponents. And no, every time I look at the starting 11 graphic 1 hour before the game, there he is, Bukayo Saka in the starting 11. Like, I get it that probably he wants to play, he doesn't complain. He seems like that type of guy who will always be available, who will not tell the coach, oh, I'm tired, oh, I don't feel really good today, I think I want to start on the bench or something like that. But still, you're the manager. And God forbid, like I said, if he gets injured, because we basically don't have any other top quality options on the bench. And that's one of the problems that we, in my opinion, need to address in the summer. We need a proper backup for Bukayo Saka. Someone to challenge him for that right side. I'm not saying that Bukayo Saka is not good enough, but you need to rotate. You need to rotate the squad, especially now when we are back playing in the Champions League regularly, in the cup competitions, Premier League. We are fighting on all fronts throughout the season, basically. And you can't rely on having only one top quality winger and just rely that on the fact that he will stay healthy for the full 60, 70 games a season throughout the year. It's insane. It's just insane. What else I wanted to say? Yeah, I wanted to talk about why I think Arsenal are currently the number one favorites to win the Premier League. So Liverpool are now first, right? They are 2 points in front of us. So even if they slip and they draw in some game and we win, we will be first because of our goal difference. Our goal difference is +6 compared to Liverpool. So look, they are playing against Sheffield this game week, so who knows? Maybe they will take a 6-0, 7-0 win against Sheffield and it will all be balanced and equal. But as of right now, at the time of recording this, Arsenal is having +6 goal difference compared to Liverpool. So Liverpool needs to be very, very careful, and they are playing under a huge pressure at the moment, I imagine, because they can't afford themselves to drop any points, basically, till the end of the season. Manchester City, for me, and I watched fair amount of games from Manchester City this season, and I know they won the treble. I know they are in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. They are in the FA Cup, if I'm not wrong, right? Still, they are fighting for the title. So I get it that some people say it's an insane thing to say, but for me, Manchester City are not on the same level as they were last season. They're just not. I think they're not as good. They lost some players in the summer. Obviously, they bought some players in the summer, but they are just not, to me, they're not looking like that City team from 1 year ago, even from 2 years ago, especially 3, 4, 5 years ago. Something's different with them. Yes, they are winning games. They are against smaller teams. They are still completely destroying them on their day. But in big games, I've seen that graphic that so far, Manchester City have won only against Manchester United, against all the top 6 clubs. They played against all the top 6 clubs this season, and their only 2 wins are Manchester United, home and away. United, who are dreadful this season. They couldn't beat Liverpool. They couldn't beat Arsenal. In fact, they lost to Arsenal at the Emirates. They couldn't beat Chelsea. They couldn't beat Tottenham, but they still have one game to play against Tottenham. So if you watch football, if you watch Manchester City, you could have seen that the way in which they play, something's not right. Is it maybe more motivation for them? Look, we won the treble, we won everything. Let's just take it slowly this season. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's not even Pep Guardiola's fault. It's just that the players are, we did it all. Players are just a bit tired. They are constantly playing under pressure. There are constantly big expectations from them. So I don't know. Maybe that's a factor. On the other hand, you have this situation with Liverpool, who are hammered by injuries throughout this whole season. They're absolutely destroyed by injuries. And yet, they are still competing for the Premier League title. Look, I've already said this, but I'm going to say it again. I think Jurgen Klopp should win the Manager of the Season award, no matter if they win the title, if they finish second, third, fourth, if that's even possible. But for me, Jurgen Klopp is the Manager of the Year. Because the things he's doing with that squad, with all those injuries, it's just fantastic. It's just heads off to him. And I'm telling you, it will be a huge shock. And I don't think even Liverpool fans are ready to talk about it yet when Jurgen Klopp leaves the club. Because the energy, the charisma, the motivational approach and everything else he brings to the table for that club is just on another level. And if Klopp manages to win the Premier League title with this squad this year, heads off to him. Props to him, because Manager of the Season for me, no doubt. But because of that squad and all those injuries, I just think they will slip up. And Arsenal will take back that first place. That's my prediction. I don't know what else I wanted to say. Look, it was a dull game. But yeah, we move on. And I don't know if you've seen our schedule for April, but it's shocking. We are basically playing a match every 3 days. Every 3 days we are having a game. First, Luton Town tomorrow. Then 3 days later, Brighton and Hove Albion away. Then 3 days later, Bayern Munich home. Then 4 days later, Aston Villa home. Then 3 days later, Bayern Munich. Then 3 days later, Wolverhampton away. And then 3 days later, Chelsea. And then 5 days later, Tottenham Hotspur. I don't even know what to think about this. It's the crucial time of the season. This is what champions are made of. If we manage to go through this month, I don't know. I just don't know what to say. Look, let's just quickly go through it all. Luton Town home, I think it's a win, 3 points. Brighton and Hove Albion away, it will be a tough game, but Brighton is not that good this season. For me, I watched them, but something's not clicking. Roberto De Zerbi was excellent last season, but this season, yes, they can still demolish some mid-table side, 3-4-0, but generally speaking, they are not on their level from last season. And they lose some games that you wouldn't expect them to lose. So I think 3 points for Arsenal. Bayern Munich at home. I don't want to sound cocky, but I really think I would be shocked if we got knocked out of the Champions League against Bayern Munich. Because this Bayern Munich side is not the same Bayern Munich side from 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years ago. This is a completely different Bayern Munich side. They are not playing good. They are in crisis. They will probably not win any single trophy this season if they don't win the Champions League, obviously. And that hasn't happened to them for what, 10, 15, 20 years? I don't know. Something's just not right. They are not playing good. Their players are not responding. Tuchel is on his way out. Situation is not good. And this is a perfect opportunity for Arsenal to go into that game and just grab it by the neck. Just go all out, win 2-3-0 at the Emirates and move on. So in short, I think Arsenal will win against Bayern Munich at home at the Emirates. And I think it would be a 2-3-0 win. Something like that. I wouldn't be surprised at all. No disrespect to Bayern Munich, but Arsenal are currently a much better side. And I'm being objective, not because I support Arsenal, but I truly believe that Arsenal at this moment of time are 5 times better side than Bayern Munich. Okay, next, then we have 3 days later, then we have Aston Villa away. Aston Villa at home. Aston Villa, who are 4th at the moment. Unai Emery is doing wonders with them. I don't know. Honestly, Aston Villa plays great. They beaten us at the Villa Park earlier this season. But I believe at home, at the Emirates, Arsenal it's going to be an easy win for us. That's just my prediction. Then we have Bayern Munich away, second leg. If we take a win in the first game, I would take a draw there. So let's say draw. Then we have Wolverhampton away. That's going to be a tricky game. A tricky game for us. They are playing good lately. But look, if you want to win the title, I know we play Bayern Munich 3 days before that, and we play Chelsea next 3 days after Wolves, but you need to win games like this. Yeah, it's away from home. Yeah, it's on a tight schedule, but you simply need to win against Wolverhampton away if you are serious about challenging for the title. And then 3 days later, we have Chelsea at home, and I really want us to beat Chelsea like 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, because that first game at the Stamford Bridge was not so great, especially with all the mistakes. That Madrid goal, Declan Rice scored a great goal, but that also came from the mistake from their goalkeeper, Sanchez. So it's redemption time. I want Arsenal to blast out Chelsea when they come to the Emirates. And finally, for the end, on the 28th of April, we have Tottenham Hotspur away. And that is probably going to be a crucial match for us to end this month. I think it will be a tricky game. I think it will not be an easy game. Look, I know Tottenham are not in some spectacular form at the moment. They are not playing spectacularly good. But still, North London derby is North London derby. And it's always tough to win, especially away. But I hope we can take 3 points against them. We are a better side. We are in a much better position. Our motivation is on an all-time high. We are fighting in every game on all fronts for the full 90 minutes. We are playing with confidence. And I think Tottenham Hotspur will fall at their ground. And that's basically it for April. One last thing I wanted to mention regarding the game against Manchester City is to see how far we've come from the days when we were losing like 4-5-0 at the Etihad easily against Manchester City throughout the years, to now seeing some Arsenal fans being unsatisfied and angry how we didn't take the win against Manchester City. That was a missed opportunity. That was not good enough. I'm not saying all fans, but I've seen some of our fans writing stuff like that. 2 years ago, when we went to the Etihad, it would be a good day for us if we only lost by 2-0. It would be just 2-0. I'll take that and move on to the next game. To see how far we've come from all those days when we would be happy if we could have taken the draw and defended for 90 minutes without touching the ball, basically, to now seeing Arsenal fans on social media writing, it's a shame, we were dreadful, that wasn't good enough. When in fact, we beat Manchester City twice this season already and we took a draw at their ground. So for me, it's just, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable to see the rise and how far we've come as a club under Mikel Arteta, and how our home mentality and approach and even fans' expectations changed. And it's unbelievable. It's like 2 years ago, if someone told you that 2 years from now we will be fighting for the Champions League, which honestly, all bias aside, but I think we can win it, and fighting for the Premier League title in game week 30, I don't know, I wouldn't believe it. It's just crazy to me. But yeah, that's all from today's video. So thank you for joining, thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and goodness, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.